Hi BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a weekly reading vlog. Today is Saturday, February the 16th, and it is about 8:45 at night. Today is the first day for this month's Create Your Own Readathon weekend. And no, obviously I am not vlogging for the entire weekend like I did last month. I am going to do that next month. I do apologize, but I have a bunch of other videos coming out next week, and I did not want to overwhelm myself with having to do an extra video next week. So that's the reason why you're not getting a separate vlog for the Create Your Own Readathon. I will get into my reading stuff in just a few minutes. Of course, I want to show you guys my knitting first. It has been a quiet Saturday so far. I mentioned in my last vlog, in case you didn't watch it, that I was exceptionally tired last night. I was in bed just after 9, which for me is very odd. Usually it's around 10:30, 11 o'clock, so it wasn't that super early, but for me it was early. I just could not keep my eyes open anymore, and I ended up going to bed, and I slept until about 4 o'clock in the morning. So then between 4 and 6 I kind of dozed off and on, and then finally at about 6:30 I decided to get out of bed, and I was working away on editing the vlog that went up today. And then we went grocery shopping, and we came back from that about 2 this afternoon, and I was beat. I was exhausted, and I went and laid back down, and I slept till after 4. So clearly I've needed to catch up on sleep. I feel pretty good now, but I don't predict it's going to be a late night. I'm hoping to get to bed by 11, so I've still got another couple hours to sit and relax. And I just had my shower, so that's why my hair is kind of bothering me. It's still, you can tell, it's still wet. I literally just got out of the shower 10 minutes ago, and I thought I should sit down and talk to you guys. So yeah, knitting update for this week. Actually, the one little other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I know I've had, when I did my my used book haul back in January, I did have some people comment to me that they would like to see my Kindle hauls, like the books I buy for the Kindle. And I buy a lot of those every week, you guys. I'm gonna be honest. Every month at the beginning of the month, when Kindle or Amazon does their monthly deals, like they do deals that last the entire month, I put all those books in a separate wish list. And then every Friday is book buying day for me. Friday I will go through the list and I'll pick 5 or 6 of them, and I have I have a monthly budget of how much I can spend on books. So I buy like 5 or 6 of those, and sometimes during the week I tend to buy books too if like something's on a daily deal, or, you know, and then typically also on Fridays I will sort my wish list, my big wish list that I have on Amazon for the Kindle, and I'll sort it by price, and I can always see what books have dropped like really low in price, and I'll pick those up as well. So so I can buy anywhere between like 5 and 10 plus books every week for the Kindle. So what I'm going to do is on Fridays, when I do my kind of like last clip of the week, I'm going to start talking about my Kindle hauls, like my ebook hauls essentially. The other thing I was going to mention, this on Friday when I do my Kindle haul for the week, but I'll mention it now because I may not remember, but I actually got rid of Kindle Unlimited. I did have Kindle Unlimited. I had it for 2 months. I got it at the end of November, and I just canceled it last week. So that was a little over 2 months I had it. And I just found, when I looked at how much it cost versus how much I was reading off of it, it wasn't worth the money to me. I think it's a great service, don't get me wrong, but my TBRs are so structured with what I read that I tend not to read outside of them. And I've cut out, like, I used to read like 4 books a week, and I always had like an extra book on the go, kind of. I was reading the Alphabet Bride series. I still would like to read that series, and maybe later I'll go back to it, but we'll see. But it was getting to be a little much, so now I've just got like my ebook, my audiobook, and then of course my 40 Years of Harlequin project book. So that is much more manageable for me. I don't feel... I'll be honest, feeling a little bit stressed with the amount that I was reading, so, you know, I'm still getting a lot of reading done, but this way, you know, and like, I think I was also reading like my Back to My Childhood books. I'm going to try and fit those into my, not my monthly TBRs, but like leave enough room that I can read 1 or 2 of those a month. I've got the next 2 Babysitters Club books that I need to read on hold on overdrive at the library, so I should see those in the next few weeks. So hopefully I can get to those in March. But anyway, sorry, a little bit of a ramble at the beginning of this vlog, just to kind of let you guys know. Again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think Kindle Unlimited is a good service. It's just not something that I personally am utilizing. That's all. That's pretty much it. So, excuse me, I'm thirsty, you guys. Starbucks. It's Saturday night. We had pizza and I got Starbucks. That's my typical MO for a Saturday night. So yes, it's my, it's the peach white tea, and I don't get it with lemonade because I find the lemonade makes it really, really sweet. But this I really like. So I'll try to mention my teas more that I'm drinking too as I go throughout the week. So into the knitting. There are 2 I'll explain as I get there. First of all, let me show you my socks. This got the most work done on it this week. Well, I shouldn't say that. The sweater got some work done on it too. But, so there's where I was last week when I recorded. And I've got the rest of the foot done. And I got the heel put in. So I did that this morning when I was editing the vlog. And yeah, so now I just have to do the leg and then this sock will be done. I would like to see this done by next Saturday. So we shall see if I do get close to getting it done. I've got 6 inches to go plus the ribbing at the top. So this one's almost done. I cannot wait. I want these done so I can wear them. And I'm hoping by wearing nice bright socks, it'll bring spring on a little bit quicker. So as I keep mentioning, this is the pattern Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Luter. Free pattern on Ravelry. I really, really like the way it works up. I think it's really super pretty. And I love the way this yarn is kind of unintentionally striping or barber poling or whatever you want to call it. I really, really like the way it looks. The yarn is Truly Wicked Crafts and the colorway is called Gobstopper. Very pretty. So yeah, so those are my socks. So the rest of the knitting. I've realized over this week, as I was kind of picking up knitting here and there, and I'd pick something up and put it down, that what I want to knit right now are socks and sweaters. I want to knit like all the sweaters and all the socks. And I had the shawl I was working on. I showed it to you guys last week, The Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. I'm not feeling it. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the yarn. I think it's the yarn because I love the pattern. But I'm just not 100% satisfied with the yarn, like with my yarn choices. So I think I'm going to put that to the side right now. I'm going to rip it out and I'm going to put it to the side and I'll come back to it at a later date. I'm going to a couple festivals. I'm going to a knitting festival in May. I'm going to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool, and that's also the weekend I'm going to Boston. Very, very excited. I actually had to alter those plans. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys, it's so funny. So I got an email on Wednesday from the hospital saying that they were going to book me in to see the group in the thrombosis clinic at Toronto General, which what that is the group that deals with those of us who are on blood thinners. And I've been on blood thinners for 12 plus years now. It's been a long time and I've never been reassessed. Like it's always just been, I go and I get my blood work done every couple weeks to see what my levels are. It's called your INR, and I go and get that checked every couple weeks to make sure it's not horribly out of whack, like my blood isn't too thin or too thick or what have you. But I've never actually been reassessed on the medication I'm taking and whether that's still viable for me and, you know, whether it's still a good medication and stuff like that. So they want to meet with me. So that's fine. That's great. I think that's fantastic. There's actually a machine that you can buy, but it's rather expensive. I think it's like over $500. And much like if you're a diabetic and you have to prick your finger to test your blood sugar, this does the same thing and it tests your INR, which would be fantastic. I wouldn't have to go to the clinic. I wouldn't have to book an appointment to get blood work done. You know, all those things, and then wait for the results to come back. So that way, if there's like an emergency and I'm really not feeling well, I can, because there have been times that, you know I feel off and I'll go and get my blood work done. My blood's really out of whack. But you're waiting like 2 days to get those results back. Whereas I could do this test and get those results back like right away, like there on the machine. So I have to find out whether or not my insurance will cover at least part of it. So I have to kind of investigate that a bit more. But when I talk to these guys in May, I'm going to try and get that information from them, like to give me the literature or whatever that I can send to insurance and say, you know, will you guys help with this? So anyway, long story short. So they said, you know, they were going to try and book me in the same day that I see my cardiologist in May, which is May 13th, which is a Monday. And I was like, okay, great. So the day goes by, it's later on in the afternoon, and I'm walking back from the coffee station, and I've got like different thoughts going through my head, and I went, wait a minute, May 13th. That's a Monday, I think. Went back and I immediately checked the calendar. Yeah, that's the weekend I'm going to be away. Because my original game plan was that I was going to leave on Friday. So I was going to book Friday and Monday off of work. So, and I think Tuesday to kind of recoup from the drive. So I was going to leave on Friday, drive down to New Hampshire, I have a hotel booked, spend Friday night in the hotel, go to the festival on Saturday, go to Boston on Sunday, drive home on the Monday. Monday, I realized I had completely forgotten that I have a cardiologist appointment at 8:30 a.m. on the Monday. So that's really not going to work. So what I actually did is I altered the hotel arrangements. So I'm actually going to drive down now on a Thursday. On Friday, I'm going to go to Boston. So I'll be there on a Friday. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait. I'm going to have to see if Steve is going to be around at all. If not, I'm just going to kind of tool my way around Boston and do whatever. And then on Saturday is the festival still, and then I'll drive home on Sunday. I'll book Monday off of work still so I can do these appointments at the hospital. So yeah. I knew I had my cardiologist appointment in May. My brain kept telling me it was the end of May. I don't know why. I think it's because it was the 13th. I think my brain was superimposing it to like the 31st or the 30th or something like that. So regardless, it's all straightened out and I'm still going away and all those things, so I can't wait. But yeah, so anyway, back to the shawl. So I'm going to 2 festivals next year, or this year. I'm going to New Hampshire in May, and then I'm going, of course, back to Rhinebeck, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in October. That hotel and all that is already booked and I cannot wait. But anyway, so I'm going to do those things. So I thought while I was at one of the festivals, I would look for yarn for that shawl, probably at New Hampshire. And I might have to go visit Christy, which is a friend of a friend. She's friends with my friends, Jen and Mandy. And she owns a company called, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's Fiber Stash. And she has some beautiful yarn. So I might look to see if I can find some yarn there from her and buy it directly from her. And then I'll make the shawl out of that. So, because I think I've used her yarn before and I really like it. It's a little bit thicker than the stuff I've been trying to use. And I think that's what that shawl needs, is a little bit of a denser yarn. So anyway, so the shawl's getting ripped out. The other thing that got ripped out this week, or not, no, it did not get ripped out. It's actually still sitting there, knit up until what I've knit on it. I haven't been able to bring myself to actually tear it out yet, although I will because it doesn't fit. And that is the Comfort Fade Cardi. I've shown you guys this for weeks and weeks and weeks now. I got about halfway down the sleeve. I was at the sleeve last week. And I put it on, and I was not happy with the join where I picked up the stitches to knit on the sleeve. I need to remember that when I knit sleeves, I can't, because everybody's different, other people can do this no problem. But for me, typically what you do is you put the sleeve on hold. So a lot of people will just run a piece of string through those live stitches and then go back and pick them up. I am horrible at picking up stitches. I am truly horrible at picking up stitches, you know, through that. And it sometimes makes them tight. So what I have to remember to do, excuse me for reaching, I just wanted to show you guys, is what I need to remember to do is when I put sleeves on hold, is to use like a cable. So to use a cable like this that I would attach a needle onto, and then these things actually twist on the end of them so the stitches don't fall off. So that's what I need to remember to do, because it'll make it 100 times easier for me to pick up stitches, and I won't get split stitches and I won't miss picking up a stitch and stuff like that, which is typically what happens with me. So I wasn't happy with that, and I kept hemming and hawing, and I'm like, I'm not loving it, but I'm like, I've knit the entire body of the sweater. It's just that's driving me crazy. So I put the sweater back on, and I realized, I had other mistakes that I didn't realize at the time. You're always more critical of your own work, so it's mistakes that nobody else would necessarily notice, but I noticed. The other thing was, I didn't realize the sweater is supposed to have 1 to 2 inches of positive ease, which means it's supposed to be 1 to 2 inches bigger than your size that you would knit it. For example, I'm a size 40. It would fit a size 42 because it's meant to have a little bit of room in it. It's not meant to be form-fitting, let's put it that way. And mine was actually a little bit too small. I was knitting the wrong size, and I hate it when I do that. I've done it before. I need to properly measure. I need to really carefully look at what I'm doing. That's okay. I enjoy the sweater. I like knitting it. So I decided to cast it back on with the right size. Now, I have a ton of this yarn. I mentioned this before. I have 5 whole balls of this yarn that I haven't even broken into yet that are not already knit into the sweater. So I will eventually rip that sweater out, what I've already done, but I just can't bring myself to do it just yet. So I cast this back on. I cast this on Thursday, so I've gotten quite a bit of work done on it. So this is, if I show you guys, this is what I've done so far. This is how it's gonna sit. So you separate it with stitch markers, and so these are like the sleeve stitches here. So that's gonna be like, that's like the sleeve cap, right? And then that's the back. It's a cardigan, and then your other sleeve cap, and then this will be what goes kind of down the front here, right? So I know I've shown you guys pictures of this before, but we just recently got colored ink for the printer here at home. We do have a little printer. So I reprinted out the pattern, and so I'm trying not to show you guys the pattern, but you can see the little purple marks. So I've highlighted what I need to knit for my size. So I will show you guys this sweater in full color glory, because it is so pretty. So here it is. So this is the Comfort Fade Cardi. Isn't that pretty? So that's what it's going to look like. See what I mean? The sleeves are going to be like extra long, and then it's got this really big like band around the outside. What is it called? The collar. It's got a big collar. So again, without giving away too much of the pattern, there you can see like the collar in the back. But yeah, isn't that pretty? I love the colors that she picked to do this in. This is faded. This is like, it's 4 different colors of yarn that she fades within this sweater. And I really, really like the teal and the gray. I think that's really pretty. But mine's just going to be one solid color because it's just easier. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on. So anyway, guys, that's it for the knitting. Let's get into the reading now that we're almost 20 minutes into this video. So, sorry, a little bit of a yappy one. Waffling just a bit in this video. Hopefully the rest of the daily clips won't be this bad. So anyway, reading update for today. I did finish a book today. I finished listening to Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. This is the first book in the Wallflower series, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4 stars. The only reason it didn't get a 5-star from me is because the main character, Annabelle, I don't know what it was, but I didn't love her. She was a heroine I didn't particularly care for. I kind of hemmed and hawed throughout the entire book, but there was just something about her that I didn't like, and I can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like when you meet somebody and you're like, yeah, they're a nice person, but there's just something about them that I don't love. So this is the story of her and Simon, and she comes from a family that was in the like an I can never say that word. Aristocracy, is that the word I'm trying to say? I can't say it in my head. It's weird. So she was always expected that she would marry like a duke or an earl or somebody with, you know, that you'd say lord to or something like that. But her family doesn't have any money. She actually has absolutely zero dowry, and she has a younger brother who's 12 years younger than her. And they're trying to pay for him to go to school. Her father passed years and years ago, and the family's kind of fell into, you know, no money. They have, like, since he died. And so anyway, she was kind of expected to marry, very well marry within the upper classes, and then help the family financially through her new husband. So she has her eyes set on this one guy, and, you know, he's kind of hemming and hawing, and he's kind of got a bunch of other gaggle of girls or women that are after him. But then there's Simon, and she meets Simon at the very beginning of the book in the prologue, when 2 years before the book starts, when her and her younger brother are at this a play of some kind, and they don't have enough money to get in, and he kind of helps them out. So anyway, and his name is Simon. Now, he's not part of the aristocracy. He is just a very well-to-do gentleman. He has made quite a bit of money, and but he's not invited into the upper echelon of society because he is not a nobleman, essentially. But he does get invited to some things, but not all the things. So I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this. I do apologize. So him and Annabelle meet 2 years earlier, and then they meet again at this like party. And I guess these parties were held back then that would last like a week or two at somebody's country estate. And there would be balls every night and things like that. And the two of them meet back up at this. And of course, you know, things start to heat up. And she kind of was going to agree to be his mistress for a bit. And then they end up getting married. So I'm not really ruining very much because they end up getting married at the 70% part of the book. So then the last 30% is kind of like, yeah, they married because there was, I don't want to get into what it was, but then you kind of see them still falling for each other and learning more about each other after they get married. So I think what really kind of toggled the line for me with Annabelle, with how I liked her and how I didn't like her, was after they were married. Like, he has an unbelievable amount of money. He does not lack for anything. And, you know, he's telling her that he's going to do this, that, and the other thing. So then there's a scene right after they get married that they're in their hotel suite that night. And he's telling her, you know, he's living out of a hotel. And she wants to buy a house. She wants him to buy her a house. And they need servants. And they are going to need to furnish this house. And the house must be in Mayfair. And blah, blah, blah. And the way she was talking to him, I had images in my head of the scene in Gone with the Wind when Scarlett and Rhett get married and they're on their honeymoon. And I can clearly see her in that black and white dress. And she's doing the same thing with Rhett. Oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do... And that's what I could hear in my head with Scarlett O'Hara. Now, I adore Scarlett O'Hara. Gone with the Wind is one of my favorite books of all time. But that's who I heard in Annabelle's voice. And it was like replaying that exact scene between Scarlett and Rhett, between Annabelle and Simon. So yeah, I just, you know, if anything I take away from that book, that's what it is. And I know that's odd, but anyway, it was good. I did enjoy it. I really liked the writing. Lisa Kleypas is a great writer. Thank you everybody who recommended for me to read this, and I really enjoyed it, and I do plan on continuing on with the series. I already adore the other three girls. There's Evie, I believe it's Evelyn or Evie. She's the one with the stutter. She sounds adorable. And then there's the two sisters, Lillian and Daisy, and they are American. And Rosalind Landor narrated this book, and she did a great job with the American accents for the girls. I really, really like them. So I'm tempted to see, I'm tempted to go on Audible just to see if she narrates those girls' books because they are American. So we shall see. So the only other little bit of reading that I got done today was, so far, I'm planning on doing some more reading tonight, is I'm about 30% of the way now through No Good Tea Goes Unpunished, and this is by Bree Baker. This is a cozy mystery, if you can't tell, and it is a NetGalley read, so I'm reading this one sent to me in advance from the publisher and NetGalley, so thank you. And this is a great little cozy mystery. It's about a woman by the name of, maybe her name's Evelyn. Evelyn Swan, I think. She narrates the story. So it's told in first person. And one of her friends, now I won't really say a good friend because they're friendly. They were really good friends when they were kids, but then you get older and you move away and things like that. And she is getting married, or has gotten married, Judy. And she used Evelyn's like beachfront property. The story takes place in the Carolinas, in the Outer Banks of the Carolinas. And our main character owns a iced tea shop. And so that's kind of like the cozy mystery, like the theme for the cozy mystery, if you will. And she, the groom gets murdered right after the wedding. And the story kind of goes from there. So already I'm pretty sure who the killer is, but I'm wondering if the author, like, it's almost blatantly obvious in a way, but I'm wondering if the author's doing that to throw you off the scent, kind of an idea. So like I said, I'm about 30% of the way through it, and so far I really like it. Our main character has two elderly aunts who raised her after her father died, and then her mother died. And she kind of has a family history of the men not living very long, which to me is very reminiscent of Practical Magic, which I think is adorable. And not that people like these husbands die, that's not adorable, but the fact that these aunts kind of remind me of the aunts from Practical Magic, like it's, you know, kind of a take on that. It takes place in a small town called Charm, and the town is very charming. It just sounds, it's that perfect cozy mystery type town. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying it, and I'll report back more tomorrow, more of my thoughts on it. But anyway, guys, 25 minutes in, that's it for this clip. I will let you guys go, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Sunday, February the 18th, and it's just after 8 at night, and I thought I'd sit down and have a little chat. I apologize for... I had planned on maybe, even though I wasn't doing a separate vlog for the Create Your Own Readathon, I had planned on actually popping in here a couple times during the day over the weekend and just, you know, updating you guys, and that didn't happen. Today was a good day. Bad day for reading. Unfortunately. So, update on what happened, or what went down today, or what, you know, kind of went on. So, I went to bingo with my mom today, and we won. We won a decent amount, let's put it that way. Worth writing home about, as they would say. So, I'm not going to say exactly how much it is, or how much it was, but I did treat myself today, and I bought myself a brand new Fitbit. So that should tell you. This is the Versa, the Fitbit Versa. And I'm absolutely in love with it. If you guys can see, will it do it? There we go. There's a cat on my actual, like, watch band, like when you flick it or when you tap it. And it's so funny because it's like a Tamagotchi. If anybody's of a certain age and they remember Tamagotchis, actually I think they made a comeback for a bit, didn't they? But anyway, so essentially what it is you can pick this as your watch face if you want. I picked the orange cat. There's also a black cat. I like black cats, obviously. You guys know this. But the black cat looked a little too gothy for me. I know, weird thing to say about it. But it was like a completely gray background with this black cat with these glowing green eyes. It was a little... It'd be great at Halloween. But, you know, for your day-to-day, I like the really bright... the teal background with the orange cat who's not going to show up. There he goes. Like that. So anyway, the way it works is that the cat kind of sits there and you put your step count in of what your step count goal is for the day. And every 10% of you getting to your goal, the cat gets a treat. And they have 8 treats a day. So you got to hit 80% of your step goal. That's kind of the goal, like the small goal for the main goal. And if you don't, the cat will leave and he will go away for the next day. And if you hit your step goal after, like, your bedtime, the cat is sleeping. I just think it sounded so cute. It doesn't cost anything extra. It's kind of included. I just think this thing is so neat. It's very, very similar to, in a way, of an Apple Watch, where I can't take and receive calls on it or anything like that. But if someone calls me, I will see it pop up here. If someone messages me, text messages me, it will pop up on here. I can use my Starbucks card on here. Not that I use my Starbucks card very often. It's bigger than my old one, but I really do like it. And I've kind of been looking at this for about 2 or 3 months now. So this wasn't bought on a whim. You know, I've been putting money away, and so I had some money put aside. Plus I had my bit that I won today, so I treated myself. So it was a good day in that aspect. But as I said, bad day for reading. So quickly, I'll update you on what I've been reading. I did start Virgin River today by Robin Carr. Obviously the first book in the Virgin River series. And it, I don't know about it yet. My friend Mandy just messaged me because she was asking me what book to read next. And she's like, should I read Virgin River or Fool's Gold? And I'm like, well, I'm currently reading Virgin River. And she's like, what do you think about it? And I'm like, I'm not sure I'm liking the main character. She has quite an attitude. I understand she's been through some stuff, but she still has a bit of an attitude. So the premise so far of the story, because I didn't read what this book is about, I didn't read the back of it, I decided to go into it and just listen to it. It's about a woman whose name is absolutely escaping me at this moment, right now. Marla, maybe? It starts with an M. And she worked in a big city in Los Angeles in a ER ward, and, you know, she's a nurse practitioner. And she, her husband, you find this out right at the beginning of the book, her husband died in a shooting incident. Not in the hospital. Her husband was actually a doctor. But he had stopped on his way home at like a convenience store. And there was a robbery in progress and he was shot and killed. She's been dealing with this and she's having a very difficult time dealing with it. And, you know, being in the big city and with the kind of things that happen in a big city hospital with shootings, and, you know, police officers always there, and drug cases and things like that, she decided she needed a change. So this job opportunity kind of came up. And it was to work in a small town, you know, the local country doctor kind of an idea. So she kind of looks into it and she gets sent all these pictures of this is what it's going to look like and this is what the town looks like and this is what the, you know, they're essentially letting her come for a year, full pay with included her lodgings, essentially, where she's going to live. So that's great. She shows up, cabin's dilapidated, it doesn't look at all like the pictures, and she's really upset about it. She doesn't want to be in this little backwater town, and that's where the attitude I'm finding is coming in. You know, I understand being disappointed and not, especially when it was shown to you as being something different than it actually is. I get it, but I still think she went a little above and beyond in some cases. And, you know, but like my friend Mandy said to me, she's like, she kind of grows on you. And I'm like, well, we're getting there. I'm about 3 hours into this. It's a long audiobook. It's over 12 hours long. And yeah, so far, it's not bad. I mean, it's Robin Carr. I like it. I'm just not loving the main character. But the rest of the characters that I'm meeting so far, I really do like. So, the book that did not get any reading done on it today was No Good Tea Goes Unpunished. I have not picked up my e-reader at all today. But the other book that got a lot of love today was Night Moves by Heather Graham. I did get quite a bit of reading done on it. I'm almost done. I'll finish this one tomorrow. This was my goal. Really, really good. I don't know if I've talked about this one. I don't think I've talked about this one so far in this vlog. So this is part of my 40 Years of Harlequin project. This is from 1985, I believe. Yeah, this is my 85 book. And, sorry, the premise of this story is a woman, this woman here, she is a Bryn. She is a dancer, professional dancer, as you can tell by her pretty little ballerina costume there. She's also a professional photographer. And she's been hired by this guy, who is a, he's a rock musician. I'm totally drawing a blank today, I'm tired. And to not only dance in his video, but to also shoot publicity stills. So, during the course of this, she took some pictures that she wasn't supposed to. And her young nephew, who she is guardian to, she's guardian to her 3 young nephews, but the youngest boy was kidnapped. And in order for her to get him back, she has to give up the pictures. But she doesn't really know what pictures the guy's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? So it's been really good. I mean, this is a romantic suspense novel, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I talked in my last vlog about a slight little bit of racial slur that was in here. It has not cropped back up again. It was it was kind of a one-time deal. Again, I'm not forgiving it. I'm just stating a fact. But yeah, I am enjoying it, and I'm almost done. I've got like a chapter and a bit left to go. So I'll definitely finish this one tomorrow. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about book-wise is that I've been watching, of course, my friend Karen in Australia, Rather Be Reading. I, of course, link her channel in the description box below. And she was my inspiration for these weekly vlogs. And she, from her library, is getting out the Babysitters Club books. And last year I was reading through the Babysitters Club, Nancy Drew's Sweet Valley. And I mean, I love Nancy Drew and Sweet Valley, but I thought I really, really wanted to concentrate on the Babysitters Club and work my way through that series. And I have missed it. And I did mention the other day about, you know, trying not to overwhelm myself by reading all these extra books and getting rid of Kindle Unlimited and blah, blah, blah. Well, I checked the library, and the next book that I need to read was available from the library. And I thought, you know what? I don't have to say to read 5 chapters a day. I can read a chapter or 2. You know, a chapter in a Babysitter's Club book takes me all of about 3 or 4 minutes to do. I can read a chapter at night before I go to bed, or 2. You know, that's not a big deal. It was more putting the pressure on myself to, you know, read a certain page count for, you know, the Kindle Unlimited books, or I was trying to, do you know what I'm saying? So I've taken that pressure off, but I really miss reading them, and I thought just a little something right before you go to bed, because sometimes some of the books I'm reading can be a little, you know, intense. I mean, it's not like I'm really reading thrillers or anything like that, but it's kind of a nice, true brain candy kind of thing to read just before you nod off to go to bed. So that's my kind of game plan. So I do have book number, I'm on book number, I think it's book 25? 24, 25. It's Christine the Mother's Day Surprise. The picture, of course, will be up here. So I'm going to start that tonight, and I am very, very much looking forward to it. I do love, with my Kindle tablet, I have the Kindle Fire 7, the one I got myself in January, and this lovely piece of equipment here. And you can't, the Libby app is not available on the Amazon App Store. So this doesn't use like Google Play or anything like that. It uses Amazon's own, what do you call that, Garrett? Like Windows. What is that? The operating system? Yeah. Okay. It has its own operating system. It doesn't use Google or Apple or anything like that. It uses Amazon. And the Libby app is not available, but Overdrive is. So I was able to borrow the ebook from the library and listen to it or read it on Overdrive. Even though I prefer Libby. I prefer the interface of Libby. I think it's a little more user-friendly. But Overdrive will do. I am not going to complain because I'm not paying for the book. I get to read it from the library. So anyway, so that is that. That's all I really have to talk about today, you guys. Yesterday was a longer clip, so, you know, tomorrow's Monday, back to work. I am not looking forward to it. I need longer weekends. I'm just keep thinking that, now, tomorrow is Family Day here in Ontario, which is like a made-up, like, day off, but it's only for the province of Ontario, and most people are working. Like, my office is open. Like, the local Walmarts and grocery stores are all going to be closed tomorrow, but businesses that deal outside of the province of Ontario are actually open. Like, my brother is working tomorrow as well. You know, I'm working because, I mean, I work for the U.S. customer service space, but even on Canadian holidays, I do have them off if they're stat holidays, whereas, you know, if it's a stat holiday in the U.S., I am working. You know what I mean? So it's a little confusing on that aspect, but because this is only a provincial holiday, if you will, or day off, we don't get it off. So that's fine. And, like, you know, there was an email that went out to all staff last week saying, just as a gentle reminder, you know, we are not closed for the Family Day holiday. But they give us that week between Christmas and New Year's, and I would rather take that any day of the week than a day off in February. And I do plan tomorrow morning when I get into the offices to go in, and I'm booking off the Friday after my birthday. So, like, the second Friday in March, because I just want the day off. I was going to take my birthday itself off, but it's a Tuesday, and it's kind of like, nah. Then I thought about doing, like, the weekend before, like the Friday before, but it's month end. Like, it'll actually be the 1st of March, but that's actually month end, and I don't, like, it's the beginning of the new month. I don't really want to take that off in case there's stuff going on. Anyway, now I'm starting to ramble. I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, what I was actually going to say was that I do have a long weekend coming up once I book it. So yes. Anyway, now I'm done rambling. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. It is February the 18th, and it is about 10:30 at night. I'm about ready to head to bed, so I thought I'd sit down and chat with you guys. So, it was Monday, and yeah, not much to say on the fact it was Monday. I did go to the gym this morning, back to the gym. I haven't been in a week because of the snowstorm last week, the 2 days, and then pretty much after that it was just sheer laziness. Same with the weekend, but I thought I gotta get back there. And it was interesting, there was these two gentlemen, they're older gentlemen, they're there every day that I've seen them anyway, and they were chatting on the treadmills between each other, and I was kind of listening, and the one guy was saying he was talking to, like, not the owner, but one of the guys who work at the gym. And he was saying out of all the memberships, only 15% of the people go on a regular basis. And they said that if everybody who had signed up for that gym went, they would need 2 more just to have everybody be there. And that's, I think, is a pretty normal observation, you know, with gyms in general. That, you know, a lot of people sign up and don't go, and that's why I was like, I gotta get back to going. So I went this morning. We had snow last night, and it was snowing when I left. The roads were unplowed. But today was Family Day in Ontario. I mentioned this yesterday. So most people were off work. So the roads themselves were quite easy, like, in terms of there was no traffic. So it wasn't so bad trying to get anywhere. So that wasn't too bad. I wasn't even late for, like, I was, like, early for work even after going to the gym. So, sorry, excuse me. So I got to the gym. And I got inside, and I'm grabbing all my stuff, my water bottle, and my headphones, or my cell phone, and looking for my headphones so I could listen to my audiobook, and I didn't have them on me. I left them at home. I need to get a cheap pair from Walmart to keep in my purse. I do have a pair on my desk at work. I should throw those in there tomorrow so I don't forget. But anyway, so I'm like, what am I going to do? I've got nothing to listen to. So, I mean, they have music going on in the speakers inside. But, you know, I kind of wanted my audiobook, so I was a little bit bummed. So I'm walking away on the treadmill for about 5 minutes. I'm like, this is going to be so long. It's going to feel forever with nothing to distract me. And then I remembered I've got my phone in my hands. I've got Kindle on my phone. So I walked on the treadmill and read my book. And believe me, guys, the time actually felt like it went faster than it does when I listen to an audiobook. Because with an audiobook, you've got it in your, you're listening to it. But your eyes are kind of going everywhere. And when I'm on the treadmills, they face, like, there's these big windows that look outside. So I'm kind of looking outside, but it's nothing changes. Like, you see the cars drive by, but nothing changes. So I don't know if you guys would be the same, but I'm constantly glancing down at the time. Like, okay, how have I only been doing this for 2 minutes? You know what I mean? But with the book, I wasn't looking at that. I was reading the book. And I thought, this might be better to read my ebook while I'm on the treadmill as opposed to listening to an audiobook. And I listen to my audiobooks now at work, so I'm getting a lot of audiobook listening time done there. So I'm going to try it tomorrow. I'm actually, but the phone is kind of small, even though I increased the font. But the problem is then you're switching the pages, like, constantly, right? So I have my e-reader on me. I always bring it to work. But I'm going to start bringing it into the gym. And then there's like a little, like a shelf kind of thing on the treadmill that you can plop the book up on. And it'll actually be great because it'll actually cover the time. So you can't look at it unless you move the book. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, so that's my plan for tomorrow. I will report back and let you guys know what I thought about it. But it was a kind of a nice way to get a lot of reading done. And I don't run. I don't do anything like that. I'm doing like literally a 2-mile-an-hour walk. That's it. It's not, any kind of cross-country, long distance for speed. It's literally just to move, and that's the most important thing. So anyway, so that was kind of my gym story today. But I am going to still bring headphones because, I'm sorry, I don't care for the music at the gym. I apologize if this is the kind of music you guys like, but it's very, very much the club stuff. If you're going to the club on a Friday night, or the bar, that loud and abrasive, that beat, I just can't take it. I need my country music, or I've gotten into Indian folk music lately, so I'm enjoying that. So I'm just gonna listen to Spotify on my phone and read my book. Anyway, reading update for today. I finished a book. I finished reading Night Moves by Heather Graham. I'm giving this 3.5 stars. I really did enjoy it. The ending fell into what, a lot of romance novels of this type kind of tended to do, where everybody's happy, and now she's having a baby, and, that's the end-all be-all goal, which it's a pet peeve of mine, but it happens quite a bit, so there's not much I can do or say about it. But it was a really good romantic suspense. I really enjoyed it. I talked about this briefly yesterday, how, she took photographs, and her nephew was kidnapped to get, copies of the photographs and stuff like that, so, You have to wonder now when you hear about things like this, or you read stories like this, because this was published, I think, in 85. Now with the advent of digital, how would that change? How would that play out? How would the story be told now? With something very simple changing of the medium, of how those photographs came to be. Do you know what I mean? Because now, if I use my phone to take pictures, every time I plug my phone in, I think, to charge it, it automatically uploads to the cloud. So, like my Google Drive. So, I just think that's an interesting observation. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I did enjoy it. Like I said, 3.5 stars. And yeah. The other reading that I got done today, I'm almost done. I'm about 80% of the way through Virgin River by Robin Carr. When you bring up the Audible player, web-based player, because I listen to it on my computer at work, on the Chrome, that whatever. What is that called? Just on Chrome. And it brings it up and it automatically starts it at normal speed. And Therese Plummer, who is narrating this, narrates very, very slowly. Very slowly. Because I'm like, this is almost a 13-hour long audiobook. And I'm like, well, how long is the book? And I looked and it's just under 400 pages, which is pretty much average for this type of a novel. But yet, most of those books tend to be around 8 or 9 hours, whereas this one's almost 13. So she's a very slow narrator. So even at double speed, it's still slow. So I was actually able to increase it to 2.5. and it's perfectly acceptable to me. I'm not lost at all. I'm absolutely able to keep up. So I just thought that was really interesting, like, because, like I said, it starts at 1 times speed, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, holy cow, that's slow. I mean, that's great if that's, yeah, but wow, I couldn't believe it. So I'm enjoying the story a bit more. I was saying at the beginning that I wasn't absolutely certain that I really liked the main character. She is growing on me a bit, and I'm liking meeting all the different townspeople. Again, very much like Jodie Thomas does, Robin Carr tends to do this, where she's telling multiple stories within, you know, the one story. So, the woman has moved to, I still can't remember her name. I want to call her Melanie, but I don't think that's it. She moved to Virgin River to take this job, and she has met the local bartender who lives across the street, like across the street from the doctor's office. She is a nurse practitioner, and it's kind of, you know, her kind of learning to fall in love with the town and him, and she has a tragic backstory where her husband was killed during a robbery attempt at a convenience store in Los Angeles. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's growing on me, and my friend Mandy was right. She said she will kind of grow on you. She has. She's not one of my favorite characters, but I like her a bit more than I did at the beginning. The other bit of reading that I got done today was I did read some more of No Good Tea Goes Unpunished by Bree Baker. I am really enjoying this one. In a way, it's reminding me of the Hannah Swenson series, with the small town, with the fact that the woman owns like a foodie type shop, with the fact that she's got these 2 cookie aunts, like, you know, you've got the kind of odd family members, you know, in the Hannah Swenson story, you know, Hannah's mom is a little odd. She's in a good way. I'm saying that in a good way. She's, you know, and she also has in this story Everly or Evelyn. She has a stray cat that comes around, but only comes around when there's trouble. So she made that comment. There's also a seagull that like frequents her area, and she talks. His name is Lou, and she talks to him. So I thought that was kind of adorable too. I just really like the atmosphere of this, of these books. So yeah, I mean, like, this is only the second one in the series. I really hope she writes more. I'm already, as I'm reading this one, they're talking about the mayor, one of the aunts running for mayor, and the fact that nobody in town really likes the current mayor. And I'm feeling that there's another story brewing in that, so that'll be great. So this is the second book. I've never read the first one. I'm definitely going to be going back and reading the first one as soon as I can, because I'm really, really enjoying this one. And if you like cozy mysteries, and I'm about 60% of the way through this one right now, absolutely recommend that you go ahead and pick it up, because like already I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, but it might not be until Wednesday. You know, I'm trying to get all my reading done before the end of the month, but it's been a little bit of a slow go. So, but anyway, guys, that is it for this clip today. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Wednesday, February the 20th, and it is about 9:30 at night. I missed yesterday. I do apologize. I was not feeling well yesterday. I got up in the morning, I went to the gym, and I felt okay. And by the time I got home from work, I could barely keep my eyes open. I was so tired. I had such a brutal headache. And I ended up going to bed, no joke, at like 9 o'clock last night. And that's not the norm for me. Normally for me, I'm about 11 o'clock typically. Usually I go to bed at 11 and I read till about 11:30, and I'm still up at 6. So, you know, my average sleep time is what, 6.5 hours? 5 hours? 5.5 hours? Maybe that's why I was so tired, is that every now and then I just get exhausted and need to crash. I need to try and sleep more. I've been trying to force myself to get to bed at like 10:30. But yeah, so I'm wearing my glasses because I woke up this morning with the same headache, and it's kind of been lingering all day. So my eyes have been bothering me, so that's why I'm wearing my glasses. And again, I do apologize for the glare. It's horrible, and I wish there was some way that I suppose if I filmed with an actual like camera as opposed to my cell phone, it would be okay, but it is what it is. So, didn't make it to the gym this morning. And yeah, it's just been a normal day, a normal Wednesday. But I have 3 books to tell you guys about that I finished. I finished 2 yesterday and 1 today. But today's tea, because I'm going to try and start sharing my tea more with you guys that I'm drinking at night, is from Tim Hortons. I stopped and I got a green tea on my way home tonight. So I do really like their green tea. It's like their brand, but I don't know what it actually is. But it's currently roll up the rim right now in Canada for Tim Hortons, where you actually can roll like the rim of the cup up literally, and there are prizes and stuff like that. I've never really won anything, nothing more than a free coffee or a free donut. You can win a car, you can win cash prizes, all kinds of things, but not this girl. I think I've bought a couple of these, and I think I've like won a donut. Big whoop. But anyway, books. What have I finished reading over the last few days? So yesterday, I finished reading Virgin River by Robin Carr. I'm only giving that one 3 stars. There were a few plot devices or, you know, standard kind of plots that are used in romance novels that I don't care for, and both of them were used. So it kind of dropped the star rating for me just a bit. The first one was that our main character, when she was married to her husband died. I think I mentioned this. She's a widow. He died in a robbery at a convenience store, something like that. And her and him tried to get pregnant. They realized the problem was with her, not with him. They tried in vitro, and then he died. So she assumed that she couldn't have a child, right? Fine. You know, it happens, unfortunately, that some people can't have kids, you know? Like, I'm not trying to be mean about it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this who either themselves or somebody they know are having problems with infertility. I myself would be one of those people, but I chose that how do I put this politely? I made the decision that I am not having kids for health reasons. So, you know, I kind of get it. And even if I didn't have the medical issues, I still think I would have a very difficult time getting pregnant because of certain other medical issues that I have. So we would probably have had to go through some of those treatments and things like that. But that being said, of course she meets a guy in this book, and she tells him pretty much, oh, don't worry, I have birth control covered, assuming that she can't get pregnant. And of course what happens? Of course she does. You know, just magically. And the doctors, no rhyme, no reason for it. She's like, well, I was told I couldn't. Well, you know, these things can happen. Can they really? Can they really to the average person? You know, I just think it's unfair to those who can't, and I don't agree with it as a plot point. The other plot point is, as I said, she was a widow, and at the end of the book, she falls for somebody else, and they decide to get married. It's the guy who she's having the baby with, and that's fine. That's great. Everybody deserves a second chance, absolutely, you know. Lightning doesn't have to strike just once. But this bothers me more than anything, and I actually, like, paused the book because I got so annoyed that she has this conversation with her new husband saying, maybe I didn't love him as much as I love you. Or, you know, maybe we weren't meant to be together. He died. He didn't, like, you guys didn't split up. He died. You'd still be together if he hadn't gone into that convenience store. And that really makes me angry. Because, again, why can't you love two people? Like, you loved your husband. You would have still been with your husband if he hadn't entered that convenience store. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? Or the fact that you've met somebody new. I don't think that your deceased husband would have a problem with you moving on. That really, really angers me. And I've seen it used a number of times in romance novels, and I'm very strong-willed about it. I'm sorry. I just think it's a cop-out. You know, like, there's the whole premise in romance that it can only be that one true love, that one person. It can be. You can have it again. You can have it twice. Do you know what I mean? And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. You know, if her marriage were bad or something like that, and her and her husband had split up and divorced, that's a completely different ballgame. But he died. So that's where my issue with it comes in. Anyway, like I said, didn't love it because of those two big reasons. And they both kind of happened at the very end of the book. So the star rating just went down for me. But it's Robin Carr. I mean, the writing was great. you know, outside of that, the plot was interesting. I am obviously going to continue on because I am reading through this series, and I don't have a problem necessarily with the series. It just so happens these two things that happened that I didn't like. On a much better note, the next book that I finished was No Good Tea Goes Unpunished. Sorry, I finished it yesterday and I can't remember. This is by Bree Baker, and it is a cozy mystery series. It's the second in a series. I can't remember the name of the series right now off the top of my head. I really, really like this one. I've been talking about it throughout the last few days on this vlog, and it was super cute. I'm giving it 4 stars. It really, really gave me Hannah Swenson vibes of the Hannah Swenson series by Joanne Fluke, with the whole small town feel and the fact that she runs her own like cafe. It's mostly for iced tea, but she also does food stuff. And yeah, the murder actually had me. I had said in a previous clip that I thought I knew who the killer was, and I kept going back and forth. So I was right on one count because I kept guessing different people. So I was right. But up until the end, I was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, now I get it, you know, as everything kind of slowly starts to come together. And yeah, I really did enjoy this one. If you like a good cozy mystery, if you're looking for something to read for March Mystery Madness, this one I think is going to be available at the end of the month because I read it for NetGalley, and I really, really liked it. So I definitely recommend that you check it out. And then yesterday, after I finished Virgin River, I'd only had about 2 hours left in it, so I was listening to it at work yesterday. So I started listening to Seduced by Ascot by Julia London, and then I finished this one today. So that was kind of nice. This is the 6th book in the Highland Groom series, and it is, of course, a Highland romance. It's about a man named Nicole and a woman named Mara, and she's been banished, essentially, from her home by her family. Now, they're not really her family. Like, they have taken her in to care for her, and they did when she was a small child. She just still kind of lived there, kind of an idea. And her sister, quote unquote, is getting married. And the maid claims to have seen Mara kissing the would-be groom. So they are saying that she is trying to break up her sister's like engagement. So they send her away because she's the prettier of the 2 sisters. So, you know, the groom keeps looking at her and not his soon-to-be wife and what have you. So they send her away to live with this man, like this distant cousin or something like that. And this distant cousin like advances on her. So then she gets rescued by Nicole. And his job is essentially helping people. Like, he calls himself a problem solver. So, like, she's having a problem, and then, you know, the family that she was living with kind of hears of these issues and agrees to let her leave and marry this guy that she's never met before, this much older man who's kind of in need of a wife. So Nicole's job is to deliver her from point A to point B. And on the way, they end up stopping back at the family's house because they have something of hers that she wants back. And I don't want to get into what it is, but there's that whole little plot device. And then the whole thing is that Mara keeps trying to get away because she doesn't want to go to marry this random guy. She now has this thing that, you know, she acquired from her would-have-been family and wants to kind of go off on her own and be her own person. And she doesn't want to marry somebody she hasn't even met. So, of course, the romance goes from there. I really, really like this one. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. It's almost edging toward a 4-star. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. Julia London's, this I think was the first book I've read by her, and I really did enjoy it. And I do recommend it if you like a good Highland historical romance. So what am I currently reading? I have not started a new audiobook. I will tomorrow at work. And I did not get any reading done on my ebook today. Just one of those days. And I actually even haven't started my 40 Years of Harlequin project book yet. So, and it's already, I should have started it yesterday, but as usual, I will catch up on that one over the weekend to catch up to where I should be. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. Yeah, so 3 books wrapped up, not too shabby. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care and happy reading. Oh, why am I logging off like it's the end of a video? I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Bye. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, February the 21st. It is about 7:45 at night, and I thought I'd sit down and have a little chat. So yes, I'm in the same position, the same couch I've been sitting on for the last couple clips. I'm in the same pink shirt. It's my pajamas. I don't know about you guys, but I do wear my pajamas more than once in a row. They're PJs, like, honestly. So yeah, so I thought I'd sit down and have a little chat with you because I'm waiting for a video to finish editing, and I was just sitting here doing some knitting, so I thought, oh, this is a great time for me to sit and film a clip. So today was another horrible bad day at work, starting to get to be par for the course. Glad to be home. One more day till the weekend, big bonus on that one. And yeah, so reading wise today, I got some good reading done today. First of all, I think I'm almost 50% of the way through Dylan by Linda Leal Miller. This is my audiobook that I'm currently listening to at work. This one is a reread for me, but it's been many, many, many years since I've read it. And this is the story of course, Dylan, our main character. And he is the second brother in the Montana, this is book 2 in the Montana Creed series. And he's the second brother. The second brother's story. I don't know where he falls in age range between the 3 boys. Logan was book number 1, and then it's Dylan, and then Tyler is going to be the last book. So at the beginning of the book, he comes out of a casino to find his 2-year-old daughter in his van, or in his truck, excuse me, with a note from his ex. It's not his ex-wife, it's a woman he kind of had a little fling with, and then she got pregnant. He's known about the child. He pays child support and all those things, with a note saying, I can't take care of her, so you take her, kind of an idea. So he takes the little girl and he goes back to his home in Stillwater Springs and ends up renting a house. And he's trying to take care of this little girl. Well, back in his hometown, his old high school sweetheart still lives there, Christy. She is now the town's librarian. And the two of them keep running into each other. And of course, this is going to be a great second chance romance. I'm really, really enjoying it. The ex is now coming back saying that she wants the little girl back again. And she's essentially trying to extort money out of him. Like, in other words, pay me for the little girl, kind of an idea. Which, of course, makes me very angry. And Christy is kind of dealing with her own things. There's a house that she wants to purchase, but the price keeps going up, and there's other buyers, and the place that she's living, she's trying to renovate it, and some odd things are happening. People have been breaking in. So there's kind of a lot going on with the story, but I'm really enjoying it. It's being narrated by Jack Garrett, who does a lot of Linda Leal Miller's books. He narrates a lot of them. And I quite like having a male narrator for these books, even though they are a contemporary romance. It's still kind of interesting to have it from kind of the guy's perspective, if you will. So yeah, so that one I'm really enjoying. The other one I'm currently reading, the ebook I'm currently reading is The Scandalous Suffragette by Eliza Redgold. This one I am reading for a special project, and it is an advanced reader copy. This does not come out till April, but I am really enjoying it. This takes place in London in the early 1900s, of course, during the suffragette movement, and about a woman by the name of Violet, who is the heiress to a large chocolate empire. And she is, of course, trying to fight for women to get the right to vote. And one night she ends up literally falling into the arms of a man by the name of Adam. And Adam has a large family history. You know, his family goes back, can be tied to royalty at some certain branches of the family tree, but they have no money now. His father, prior to his father's death, gambled away the family fortune, along with, you know, both homes that they had, things like that. So he is in desperate need of money to keep the creditors at bay. So he proposes a marriage of convenience to Violet because of some actions that happened during a ball. She is now in the public eye with this big scandal, and he's, you know, pretty much proposing marriage to keep her out of the papers, or to kind of spin a better light on her, if you will. And then, of course, he needs the money. So I'm about 25% of the way through this book so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading my ebooks now at the gym in the morning, on the treadmill. I just plop them up on the little shelf that they have, and I'm really enjoying doing that, you guys. The time goes so quickly, and I actually look forward in the morning to getting on that treadmill and getting to like a good 45 minutes of solid reading with no distractions. You know, I do have headphones in, and I do have music on quietly, just to kind of block out the other sounds of the noise and people talking, because people start a conversation beside you and you'll kind of turn your head and, you know, like, I know they're not talking to me, but you're still kind of like looking around when you hear people talking and stuff. But with the headphones in and the music on, I'm not really listening to anybody else. So it's really, really refreshing, and I'm really enjoying it. The only other book I've really gotten a lot of reading done on, I have not picked up my 40 Years of Harlequin book yet. I know I have, like, you know, I shouldn't beat myself up for it. I'll pick that up. Like I've always said, the bulk of the reading of those books get done on the weekends. But I hope to pick some of that up tonight before I go to bed, maybe read at least a couple chapters of it. But the only other book I've been getting any reading done on is Christine the Mother's Day Surprise. Yes, I did pick up another Babysitter's Club book. I think I might have mentioned this to you guys. I've missed reading these. I really, really have. And Karen over at Rather Be Reading, I'm catching up. I'm a little bit behind on BookTube. I'm about a month behind. But I know she was getting them out of the library and reading through them. And I'm a little bit further into the series than she is. Not by much. I think this is book like 24. And she was on book like 12 or 13 or something like that. So, like when the last video of hers that I saw. And I've missed reading them, so I'm going to start picking them back up again to read a chapter or two at night. You know, no big deal. I'll finish them when I finish them. I'm not forcing myself to read so much every day. More of just kind of a relaxing 10 minutes before I go to bed kind of a read, because they are a very, very easy read. I mean, they're a middle grade book, right? So yeah, so anyway, that is really all I have to talk to you guys about today. Nothing else terribly interesting is happening. Tomorrow is Friday, yay. Tomorrow, of course, I will be talking about my digital book haul. So that will be coming tomorrow in my next clip. And plus, we will be picking a new skein of yarn for my next pair of socks. Because that pair of socks right there is almost done. Or it will be done, if not this weekend, early next week. So I want to do a kind of a live, if you will, pick of my next yarn. So lots coming in tomorrow's clip. And I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi guys, happy Friday. Today is February the 22nd, and it's about 20 after 7 at night, and I thought I'd sit down and have a little chat with you, because in the next 10 or 15 minutes I plan on sitting down with my friends and having a virtual little knit night tonight, because I haven't talked to them on video in quite some time, so I'm super excited. I haven't done that in a while. So that's why I wanted to sit down and get this done now, because I have a feeling that by the time I'm done chatting with them, I'm going to be super tired and ready for bed. So, sorry, my nose is really itchy. So yeah, I've got a lot to talk about in this clip. I've got some stuff to unwrap and some books to talk about. Today at work I will be honest, today was a bad day. I don't want to get into what's going on. You know, stuff is changing within the company, and it's becoming a more and more difficult place to work. And that's sad, because I like the job. On a normal day when we're not dealing with all the stuff we're dealing with, you know, when the system works perfectly or works better than it does, you know, when we're getting more support and things like that. We are short-staffed, which makes it a little bit more difficult. You know, in a better work environment, it's a good job, and I like my coworkers a lot. But, you know, I'm really thinking it might be time for a change, because I can't keep going into this kind of stress level every day. It's too much. Like I said, I think our main complaint is that we don't have enough people to do what we do, and to what is kind of asked of us to do. Do you know what I mean? For any of you who work in that same sort of, you know, sometimes you need more bodies and to help. So we're not there, and we're not getting that support, and it's very frustrating. But anyway, I don't want to complain too much. It's Friday. I want to be happy because it's Friday. I have no plans this weekend. I finished all my filming the other night. I decided to sit down because the Triple RC, the Romance Readers Reading Group of Goodreads, announced the March challenges. So I sat here the one night and I compiled my TBR list for March. And then I just thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and film it. So I went ahead and filmed that, and I filmed my book haul. My physical book haul, my used book haul. So both of those are going to be going up next week. The physical book haul on Tuesday, and the TBR for TBR time, yay, on Thursday. So that's exciting. So yeah, so I've got those. So I don't have to do any filming this weekend. Typically I do my filming on the weekend. So it's kind of nice to have the weekend free and not have to do it. You know, I would like to get to a point where I can be filming on Friday nights, because I don't have a lot of videos, and they're not, You know, they're not terribly long, or well, generally. You know, there's not a lot, you know, so I'd like to film them on Friday nights if I can. And then it kind of does give me the weekend free, so I can edit on the weekend, which is always enjoyable. And I'm not being a smart person, like a smart ass, by saying that. I do enjoy editing. But anyway, now I'm just yammering, I think. I'm waffling, as some people would say. What else did I have to tell you guys? So yeah, tomorrow I just have to go grocery shopping, and then on Sunday I'm going to bingo with my mom. So it's just the usual stuff, but I plan on spending the weekend reading and knitting and watching BookTube, because I got some BookTube to catch up on, you guys. I'm falling behind again, and I don't like it, and I need to catch up. So let's get into the reading for today. So today I finished reading Dylan by Linda Leal Miller. This was on audio, and sorry, my camera thing just popped up saying I was like, my battery on my phone's only at 15%, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up relatively quickly. So I finished that today, and I liked it. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. It's available on audio from the Audible Romance package if you're interested. Now, I talked about this one yesterday, so there's a lot of moving parts in this story, and while I enjoyed it, I didn't love it, which is why it only got 3.5 stars. So, you know, there's the whole thing with the second chance romance between Dylan and Christy, and then there is Dylan learning to be a dad now to his 2-year-old daughter, who he always knew about, like he was paying child support, but now that his ex-baby mama has kind of left this child with him, and she's also trying to extort money off of him to get him to allow him to keep the little girl. Disgusting to me, but you know, that's the kind of character that she is. Plus there's this whole mystery aspect of someone is trying to break into Christy's house and the reason why. Plus there's this also another mystery aspect with this dead body, or this body buried in some grave not far from the property, or on Christy's parents' old property. And then there's also the 3 brothers. So the 3 first books are about 3 brothers. Logan, Dylan, and Tyler are the first 3 books. So I'll be getting to Tyler's book next. This book was a reread for me, by the way, but I read it many, many, many years ago. And their father died many years earlier, and there was kind of the secrets behind his death and, you know, what really took place, kind of an idea. So like I said, a lot of moving parts within one story, but she did a really good job of keeping them all together without making it confusing, and it was really good. There is some adult content in this book, but it's few and far between, and it's very easy to pass by if you just want to flip through it. You know, once those scenes start, what I found, because I'm listening to these at work, and not like anybody else can hear, I have my like headset on, but you don't know, right? And you know, so I will typically like just hit the button to go to the next chapter, so I skip that part of it. And it very easily, bam, you're on the next chapter and you haven't missed anything. So just an FYI in case you're curious and you want to read this one. The other book that I am still working my way through is The Scandalous Suffragette by Eliza Reingold. This is a Harlequin historical novel, and I talked about this one yesterday too. I'm really enjoying it. My game plan is to finish this one tomorrow. My game plan is to finish that book tomorrow and to get this one almost done by the end of the weekend. So, this is Double Images by Patricia Rosemore. This is my 40 Years of Harlequin project book for this week. I need to have this done by Monday night. As you can see, I've got my little tabbies in here. I haven't really even started reading this one yet, so I do need to pick this one up. It's just been one of those weeks where I have not had a chance to really sit down and read this. So I'm a little mad at myself, but these are relatively, like, they are not terribly long. I will finish this one and no problem. So my goal is to finish this one, or not finish it, but get, you know, at least 200 pages through it by Sunday night. So yeah, that's my goal for that. So that's really all I have to talk about reading wise. So if you're not interested in anything else, you can feel free to click off. So the other things I'm going to talk about right now is, for the first thing, I'm going to open up my 40 Years of Harlequin book for this coming week, starting on Tuesday. And then I have a little digital book haul that I want to talk about, and then I've got some yarn to open, so that's exciting. So we'll start with the 40 Years of Harlequin book. So this one is from 1987. We're all the way up to 1987, you guys. Wow. The year's going by so quickly, isn't it? My husband and I were at the mall after work. We went over to grab dinner at the food court, and we left the mall. It was after 6, and it's a little cloudy outside, but you could still totally see the pink sky, and it's so nice that it's staying lighter later at night. Love that. Woo! What have we got? A Harlequin Temptation. Yay. I haven't read a Harlequin Temptation in so long. This is On the Wild Side by Kate Jenkins. So this is an older one, obviously from 87. It's number 182 in the Temptation series. Now, the Temptation series went like by the wayside many years ago and was replaced by the Harlequin Blaze line, which was then, of course, replaced last year by the Dare line, which I'm not a big fan of, but each to their own. They went a little too spicy for me. Generally, I don't have a problem with erotica. I'll take it in small doses. It's not my favorite thing in the world to read. I know that there's a lot of people who are big fans of the Read Me Romance podcast, and I tried listening to it, but it's just too much on the erotic side for me. You know, again, there's obviously a lot of people that like it, so it's just not for me, and that's fine. I don't snub my nose at it. I will happily read erotica, but it's not my go-to usually. Anyway, so this is the next book that I have for the 40 Years of Harlequin, so I will read the back of it for you guys. She was just too much. What did he, A. Bearclaw Carstairs, no joke, that's his name, up-and-coming lawyer and responsible citizen, want with a zany, playful sprite like Silky Phelan? No way! P-H. Oh, it's spelled differently. She's almost got my last name, my married last name, which is Phelan, P-H-A-L-E-N, and this is P-H-E-L-A-N. That's kind of fun. She's a rock DJ. He needed a dependable woman to go with that refined lifestyle that he longed to aspire to. But Silky had insulated herself into his every thought. Her spirit and sensual nature thrilled him, and he knew his careful plans were in danger. He had to escape before the sheer joy of her undid him completely. Harlequin Temptation. Compelling stories of passionate romance for today's woman. I don't know. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to this one. This one will be a lot of fun. So that one will get read next week. So I'm going to put it up there for right now. So there we go. All right. So we will get into the digital book haul. The digital book haul. Because these are, I'm going to do this every week. These are going to be all the books that I bought over the last week that I got either as ebooks or audiobooks. Won't always be audiobooks. Audiobooks are few and far between. Typically, I only use my credits and stuff like that for, you know, if I'm getting books for my TBR, or if there's a, well, I don't use my credits for it, but like in this case, there is a daily deal that came up this week that I really wanted, so I ended up picking that up. But anyway, let's go through it. But I'll tell you guys where I got these from, because this is going up on Saturday. Some of these are monthly deals, so you might still be able to pick them up yourself if you're interested, and if you catch this video before the end of the month. So, the first book I got was Sugar Daddy by Lisa Kleypas. This is the first book in the Travis's series, and this is a contemporary romance. I read this book many, many, many years ago. This is the cover that I have, or that I read originally, which I actually prefer. I'll pop the new cover up in the corner as well, of the girl on the swing. I don't like that cover as much. I think the first one just stands out more. But this is essentially as it sounds. It's about a woman who is kind of looking for a sugar daddy. It was really, really good. If you have not read Lisa Kleypas's contemporaries, that's where I got my start with this author. A lot of people got their start with her her historicals, but I absolutely recommend this one. It was a really fun book. The next one I got was Carousel Beach by Orly Keown, and this is a contemporary fiction novel. This one I had on an anticipated reads last year, and I had it on my wish list on Amazon, and it was like $11 or $12, and it dropped down to like $1.99. It wasn't part of a daily deal or anything like that. I just happened to be sorting through my wish list on Amazon on Monday or Tuesday, and because I was having a bad day at work, and when I'm having a bad day, I want to buy things. So I go to my Amazon wish list and find stuff that's the cheapest. And I'll pick up a $1.99 book or something, and that makes me happy. But anyway, this one came up, and I decided to pick it up. I will leave a list of all these books in the description box below, so you guys can go and check them out if you're interested. But yeah, this one I was really super happy to see that it went on sale. And the third one, not the last one, is Out of the Darkness by Heather Graham. This is book 3 in the Finnegan Connection series. I just recently hauled this one in my last used book haul, that I bought a copy of this as a print book. But as you guys know, those print books, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. I'm not only buying them to read them, but I'm also buying them to collect them. And because I'm such a huge fan of Heather Graham, absolutely fine that I'm okay that I bought a print copy of it, because I got this one for like $1.99. So I'm absolutely happy with that I've got a copy on ebook as well. And then my Audible Daily Deal that I talked about came up, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. And that was A Curve in the Road by Juliana McLean. This is like another contemporary fiction novel, and it's about a woman who's like a doctor, and her husband's a doctor, and they've got like this oh so perfect life. And then one night she's coming home from somewhere and she gets in a major car accident and everything changes. And it just sounded really good. And for the Daily Deal, I thought I can't go wrong. It was like $3 or something like that for the audiobook. This is available in Kindle Unlimited if you guys are interested in checking this book out. Not on audio, but on Kindle Unlimited. So just an FYI. Next up, another one that came up on a Kindle Daily Deal is Tall, Dark, and Deadly by Heather Graham. Not too sure about this one. Pretty sure it's a romantic suspense, but it looks really good, and, you know, it's a Heather Graham. I can't say no to a Heather Graham. And then all the last four that I'm going to talk about are all part of the monthly deals of the the Amazon monthly deals, or the Kindle monthly deals, excuse me. Now, I cannot confirm. I'm in Canada, so I don't know if it's different in the US, if these are going to be the same wherever you have your Amazon in the UK or wherever it is. But feel free to go and check it out on your own to see whether or not, you know, these might be good for you. Now, the first one is Now That I Found You by Bella Andre. This is the first book in the New York Sullivan series. I read the one Sullivan book not that long ago, and one of you guys mentioned that you find her hit or miss. I've noticed that as well, but I thought for 99 cents or $1.99, I can't go wrong picking this one up. The next one is Protector's Instinct by Janine Crouch. This is book number 2 in the Omega Sector Under Siege series. This is a Harlequin intrigue novel. I love these. Anytime I see Harlequins come up on the monthly deals, I immediately snag them, or I, eventually will snag them throughout the month, because you don't often see them drop in price. They're relatively inexpensive to begin with, around $4, but, again, you don't often see them drop down in price, so I thought, why not? The next one, this one looks like so much fun, and I think I heard about this one on a podcast years ago. It might have been like Stuff You Missed in History Class or something like that, but I've had this one on my wish list for quite some time, and then it came up as a monthly deal, and I went, yes, please. And it is called Bad Girls Throughout History, 100 Remarkable Women Who Changed the World by Anne Sheen. So this is a nonfiction book about 100 different, essentially, bad girls in history. I love that idea. I just think it sounds like so much fun, and I had to pick it up. This one will be great for Nonfiction November. And last but not least is The Chance, by Robin Carr. This is book number 4 in the Thunder Point series. This is a contemporary romance series that she does. I think it's now finished, but I'm slowly picking up books in this series as they come up as a deal, and adding them, to my to be read, excuse me, essentially. So if you'll notice, books that I buy, I generally do not pay full price. I very rarely will pay full price for any book or an audiobook, unless it's like, I'm using a credit or something like that on Audible. I prefer it that way. Everybody likes to hunt out deals. The author is still getting, money from me, even though it's on sale, but you know what I mean? So that's just me. So anyway, last thing I want to do before I let you guys go, sorry, this is a bit of a longer clip, is, do I even have that anymore? I don't, oops, wrong button. Is I'm pulling a new skein of yarn for my next pair of socks, because my goal this weekend as well is also to finish a pair of socks, because I'm almost done. I've got about 3.5 inches left to go, I think. So I'm going to finish this pair of socks this weekend, the pair that I'm already working on that you saw at the beginning of this video, the Easter colored ones. And then I am going to cast on a new pair of socks this week. So I wanted to pull the yarn while I've got you guys here with me. Just because I think it's fun to kind of do an opening. So hold on, and I'll explain for those of you who might be new to my channel and you might be a little bit confused. So I have, bear with me just a second here. Okay. So I have a bag of sock yarn in my Alice in Wonderland bag, and all these bags are labeled with numbers, and they're all in here. And when I finish a pair of socks, I do a random number pick, and then I open it, and that's the next pair of socks I knit. So it's kind of like having like a sock of the month club or a yarn of the month club, because I cannot remember what's in here, you guys. So that's what's super exciting. So there are 14 numbers in there. I can hold the tablet. So we're going to hit generate, and we got number 13. I don't know if 13's been picked yet. Let's find out. So that number 13's already been picked, so let's pick another number. We'll hit it. Really? Big old number 2. All right, let's look in the bag here. I will be right back. Here we go with number 2. So let's open this up and see what yarn we have. I think it's already rolled into a ball. That's always exciting. What? Garrett's just staring at me weirdly. This one's a favorite of mine. Look at that, you guys. It sparkles. Can you tell? What are you nodding at?
Because that's what I was looking at. I was like, saw one sparkle and then nothing.
Yeah, no, it's Garrett's kind of like, what are you looking at? Yes. So this is called Halloween Town, and this is by Dreams and Fiber, which is Erica Luter. I was talking over the last however many weeks that I've been showing you guys the Hermione socks. She is the designer behind the Hermione socks, the one who dyed this yarn. So I don't know what pattern I'm going to do yet. I think, because I've tried to knit this into a couple different patterns, I think I might do the Atlantic Current socks, but I'll decide later. These are going to be something other than vanilla, because they kind of need a pretty pattern with them, I think. But yeah, so there's going to be my next pair of socks. So I will cast those ones on this week. Okay, guys, that is it. 20 minutes into this clip. I do apologize. I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.